issues in philosophy. You know, the ones that are very difficult to answer, but that are actually worthy. There's a lot of bullshit out there, you know, and really weak quotes and comments and theories that some of them are wonderful ideas, but some of them, many of them are basically not original. They're just the first people to write them down, just like many of the quotes. You know, basic rules, be kind to others, things like that. And if you really look at quotes and imagine the same quote written today, would it be that, you know, interesting and fascinating? Perhaps. It depends on the depth of it. But anyhow, on nihilism, not wanting to get into depth of it, basically I'm only speaking to the idea of how people view the idea is that nihilistic has used a lot. And I wanted to give a different view on it, rather than the negative one that I think a lot of people have. Nihilism, in essence, without going too far, is the idea that nothing inherently has any real value. And I think that that's taken really out of context, out of understanding of how it was meant to be. And Nietzsche always comes to mind, and Nietzsche was the philosopher who, you know, I believe I'm not sure if he coined the phrase or not, but he had a nihilistic theory about how, you know, the only thing that we're going to get out of life is what we give it. And I think that as much as many of us want to believe that life has inherent value beyond that, and we can see in nature the beauty of it, we can see patterns, we can see mathematical equations, we see these beauties, and we assume that, well, you can't be nihilistic and see all this wondrous beauty. But it's not like that. Seeing that beauty is part of what helps us give value to ourselves. Just because something has beauty doesn't mean that beauty exists outside of us viewing it. You see what I mean? A beautiful sunset is beautiful for more than just the red color or the fact that the sun's there or the mountains. It's the combination of elements. It's the ambiance, the feeling of it. And those are all brought on by the human experience. The cool breeze coming in as the sun sets and watching it set below the clouds. And it's very difficult to explain, but basically, if you give your own life value and you don't allow others to put it and program it for you, this is basically what nihilism means to me. It means that we can clean the slate of whatever others want to tell us life is all about, and we can pick and choose the elements of understandings, beliefs, theories that we find to be useful in our lives. And I've spoken to a lot of religious folks who actually are appalled at that idea. And I've actually used that by saying, well, it seems that you pick and choose the elements of every religion and belief system and everything and value system that work for you and leave the rest alone. And I say, absolutely. What else would I do? How else would it be if I didn't use the things that are given to me, but to throw out the tools that I don't need? There are many tools in the toolbox that don't help me in my life when it comes to religion, beliefs, and theories. I'm not New Age. I'm not a big believer in the whole metaphysical realm. As far as most of it just seems like BS to me, but it doesn't mean that I don't believe we have energy. See, it's complicated. I see the beauty in nature, but I don't buy into what the program has taught us is the truth. Certain colors represent certain things, and but at the same time, there's a lot to be learned by historical context and the way things were written and what people were trying to express and share through their art, through their music. So it's not that a person has to go off on their own and say, you know, well, the world doesn't mean anything, I'm just going to go off on my own and create my own reality. Of course not. But like I said, you're picking and choosing parts of the things that people who came before us have created and finding the ones that actually work. Not an entire doctrine in whole that someone created, because you know any doctrine in whole is going to have flaws in it somewhere, or things that you don't agree with, or don't work in your environment, your community, your state, your county. So that's what I've got to say on nihilism. Use it to realize that life has inherently no value other than what we give it. That can be through someone else's eyes or your own, and it's up to you. So I'll talk to you all later, and have a wonderful evening. Peace.